Hello and welcome back to 100 HR Secrets. Today I want to talk about mental health at work, and in HR we love talking about the positive emotions that we want from our staff. We're always talking about engagement, we're always putting things in place to check the engagement scores of our people. I do worry sometimes though that we're not also concentrating quite as much as we could on some of the negative emotions that people feel. We know that if we look at our absence figures, stress is always number one, followed by musculoskeletal issues. And one of the things about that stress factor is some of it is to do with work and some of it is to do with issues outside work. A prominent speaker said recently that looking at his sickness absence figures, only 10% of the stress figures were attributable to what was happening in the workplace. But you're still having to deal with the other 90%. So what are some of the things we need to think about? I wonder sometimes if the changes that have occurred in the last 30 years have more to do with the heightened levels of stress that our employees are feeling. For example, if I look at some of the data that's around, more than 20% of UK workers are now mothers. I think it's probably even higher than that. Men with children under 5 years of age work the longest hours of any of our workers, and up to 8 million workers in the UK are dealing with dependent relatives, either elderly parents or other relatives with caring issues that they need to spend a great deal of time and energy on. And that can really rack up those feelings of stress and being overwhelmed, and that can bring itself to work and a number of problems in the workplace, not just performance issues. We're talking about relationship issues, but also the daily experience of those people. They really can sometimes find themselves in a situation where levels of anxiety can really lead themselves to suffering during a normal day. There was a survey undertaken recently which said the most prominent aspects and sources of work-related stress were a lack of control over people's jobs, little influence over their performance targets, growing jobs insecurity, a lack of clarity about what their boss expects, and even worse, anxiety that their boss is forever finding fault in them. And the non-work factors causing most anxiety are the impact of poor quality of sleep, health of family members, problems with ageing parents, financial insecurity and debt, and troubling thoughts about the future. Now, some of those we can't do much about other than have a really good EAP scheme that is publicised, that people know about, that they can link into. But there are things that we can do as well. One of the things that we can do in HR is really look at the culture of our organisation. Are we an open culture? Are we transparent? Are we a culture where people can raise issues, where they do feel confident and comfortable talking to somebody about the things that are bothering them? This isn't just an issue that impacts on the bottom line, on profits and performance. There is something about this being part of our moral duty as employers to try and support our employees through all the different life stages they'll go through, the good times and the bad times. People will work for us and perform during those times, and we need to support them, whatever they're facing.